Okay, another day, another week, another problem. Here we are back to solve some. And as you can see, we've started this week by creating what I want to create is a way to help people that say, I have an idea for an app, I have an idea for this or that. And there's this process that product management goes through. It ends up creating a PRD or a product requirements document. And the idea there is to lay out the justification for exactly what this product should be with the research, market, different personas that you're trying to go after, target, so that you don't waste your time on a buckshot approach. You can laser in on certain areas and figure out if they'll want it. And the end goal is hypothesis is the problem that you see. You go through all of those steps. You end up with a testable hypothesis that you put in front of people. If they like it, you double down. If they don't, you go back to the drawing board and try to see other things. And this will all be done in what's called an MVP, or a minimum viable product. And I like to use like visuals, so mock-ups or just straight landing pages, to collect some emails so that we can move forward and have some beta users and see if people want what you're building. And if not, it's good to learn and go back to the drawing board. So here's what we're going to do. I want to come in and have the ability to create a PRD, even if I don't know what they are. And ultimately what I want to do is create an automated system by doing each one of these steps in the PRD, but then allow the human to come out of the middle. The process of keeping things on track is called human in the middle, and I'm going to pull out the human and human in the loop. And once I pull the human out of the different stages, we'll see how many we can get out of, and maybe have like a little engine that can create and test problems that you just give it, or surface its own. So the way to do that is we're going to first have to build out a website, and it's just going to start with the PRD on the website itself and try to build it throughout, and we're going to see how good we can get each step. You'll see on here that it says each step needs to employ RAG. What is RAG? That's Retrieval Augmented Generation, and so that's basically doping the context of the what you give to the OpenAI or whatever AI agent you're using, doping that with some information so that they have a memory. Now on the OpenAI side, you can in a vector memory type situation, but on your side you can also package together like business info. Like with my resume builder, my business info, my background was all put in beforehand, and that's part of this RAG way to make a good outcome. And then we use some evals, which are ways to test what you're getting back, and then from then we end up getting a pretty decent. You can, if it becomes too cumbersome, summarize these things, and some of the research is showing that it's working just as well. But right now we don't have token problems and size chunks and all that, so we don't really need to worry about it. But if things get problematic, we can always come back and try to kind of zip the stuff by summarizing everything ahead of time. But until then, we have created this quick product. This one is the one I'm testing. We'll show you right now. There's a problem title. I've created one on ChatGPT, and here that is. So it's sentiment in real time. They describe it. So let's just do sentiment. If there are any things that like I had research for one of them, and I added that here, and that will also be added to the payload that the AI is going to get and use as part of its background for what you want to attack and how it builds out the problem. So we're going to create this problem and then analyze. So here is our PRD. It tells you what we entered here, and then here's all the steps of it. So we're going to define the problem. That's where you start. You're trying to fix a problem for a business outcome. That's the goal of everything here. And then there's a signal collection. So that's checking your things like your market, your pain points, all these things that help identify why this is a good idea with numbers, hopefully. Competitive analysis, making sure that others are doing this. Finding a competitor is good. That means that the market wants it, and if there's other people doing it, then that means you're on to something. Now, if you're creating like a novel like Ethereum, and or if you're creating a brand new paradigm like the iPhone, you go through a little bit different process, but in the end, you're going to still want competitors, and they did have competitors too. They were just, for the iPhone, it was iPod and MP3 players along with phones themselves, and then they added the real internet, which was huge. So that was new, but there were competitors, and so don't be downtrodden if there's competitors. Then the actual personas. So this will just outline exactly who they are, what they need, what their wants are, what their needs are, what their goals, their preferred solutions, things like that. We're going to need to figure out how detailed we want to get with these personas, so that when we're pitching to them, we can know these background tasks, so we can best reach them at their preferred time, in their preferred way, and their preferred channels. And then finally we get to the solution and kind of what we're planning on doing. And so we'll fill all of that out, and then of course you have to figure out your risks and what you're assuming. Maybe you're wrong on some of your assumptions, and that'll hurt in the long run. So as you can see, we have a good way to do it. I'll, instead of running through everything, show you how these have run before. So you'll get a core objectives and key success metrics and key assumptions, and then you can improve it. This is just what I had put in, and then, which is up here, and then from there had it analyzed, and the AI populated this. And then when we move on, what it'll end up doing is using the information from here, from the problem, and then building on it. And then each one of these steps builds on the other. Right now they're not perfect. That's why I was just trying them out, and we're going to work through those throughout the week. But I did want to start by showing the plans, and that's where we stand. And hopefully you're having a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow with yet another problem to solve. Have a great day.